going to take the North and never give it back.
So that's a good pick. You get the corner. I got to go bold, right? I got to go bold for this.
Yeah, she's got some nice.
Welcome back to the Unbearable Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Brad Barron. Make sure to like and subscribe if you're out there on YouTube. And also, always rate the show 5 stars everywhere that you get your podcast. What is going on, everybody? Happy fall. Happy November. Y'all can already hear my voice. A little sickness going on throughout the house. Hope everybody is doing well, though. Taco Man, Joe, bear down, my friends. Hope you're all doing well. We got a preview. Normally, we've been doing these on Thursdays. Had some stuff coming up now more on Thursdays. So now I'm like, all right, we might be switching these a little bit back to Wednesdays. Normally around 7:30, 8 o'clock or so. But we're live. We got to talk about this, and we got to break down the Bears versus the Patriots. Can we redeem ourselves and look halfway decent against the New England Patriots, which really, we have a good opportunity to do this. Also, there's a lot of different injuries out there that we have to go through, and some news as well that we have not yet touched on. So, first things first, before we get into the injuries, we got to bid a farewell to Khalil Herbert. We talked about this when we were doing our live review of the All-22, and I said at the very end, probably thought that Khalil Herbert was going to get traded. Ultimately, he gets traded. Now, the thing I am curious about is that Nate Davis is still here. So Nate Davis, somebody that I expected just because veteran guard, and I'm actually even curious. I'm actually a little shocked that he's still on the team. I was thinking that maybe they would just kind of ultimately cut him or just cut him loose, but really, Bears keep him aboard, and maybe they're just waiting to fully activate a Ryan Bates and then eventually kick Nate Davis out to the curb. But like we've said before, with the Bill Murray injury, now you can be a little bit more flexible with them. Now the question is, do you really want him to be around? You're eating some cap space if you end up cutting him, but still, like, you save a little bit this year, but you're eating it long term. So it's something definitely to look out for. But yeah, let's talk about these injuries because, like what Taco Man just said, we're desperate at that line. Like, that line is going to be interesting for the Bears this week, and that is the big storyline. Because first off, Andrew Billings tears his pectoral. So from the defensive line perspective, Andrew Billings tore what seems to be a torn pec. Like we said, we probably were thinking that it was a torn pec. And Matt Eberflus was talking about it in the media either today or yesterday, but was talking about, hey, he's going to miss a lot of games and maybe we'll have him back. But typically when you see, if it's a true torn pec, you're not going to see him back. Like, that's an injury that takes at least a year to really go through and recover from. So I'm actually kind of shocked that he's not out there on IR. And yet again, maybe they're waiting to place him on IR and then bring back Ryan Bates. There's a couple things that they could do there, but the D tackle spot is very, very weak. But then what is also very weak? The tackles. We've already had some issues at tackle, but Braxton Jones did not participate today on Wednesday with the knee injury, and also Darnell Wright with his knee injury did not participate today. Now, tomorrow is going to be a key date because Matt Eberflus is optimistic that they will both be able to play on Sunday. Now, how much stock should we put into this head coach's word? Well, last time that he said that an offensive lineman was going to play was with Tevin Jenkins at the left guard spot, and Tevin ultimately ended up playing. So something definitely to look out for, just because we need those tackles out there. Karan Amagaji, not putting money on him with playing just because of his normal injuries that he's had throughout the offseason. Still has that calf injury, did not participate. But besides that, with Borum, I'll just say, when we were doing our review of the tape, Larry Borum, for one, was, especially in the running game, not looking pretty. And I do have his PFF grade, which was a whopping 44.2, and the tape did back it up. He didn't look too great out there, and definitely did struggle. So at a minimum, I'd at least like to see one of those offensive tackles at least back, whether it is Braxton Jones or Darnell Wright, because yes, Larry Borum is not ideal to have as a tackle, But do you know who's worse at a tackle position to have out there? Jake Curran. He was terrible. He was really, really bad at that right tackle spot. In the limited snaps that he had out there, he was consistently getting cooked. Do not want to see him out there. So hopefully we can get like a Darnell Wright back or Braxton Jones. I'll take any one of them because I just want a healthy offensive tackle to be out there. And if not, something that I'm curious to see if the Bears end up doing, this would be a long shot because I don't know if they're practicing with this at all. But if you have Ryan Bates, maybe Ryan Bates plays that right guard spot. And then you kick a Matt Pryor, who's a former right tackle, out to the right tackle spot. Just, putting someone out there that didn't even practice at right tackle is probably better than having Curhan out there. Just saying. So just look for that. Keep track of the offensive linemen throughout the week because that's going to be a very, very important position. But at least Ryan Bates and Tevin Jenkins, both full participants today on Wednesday. And if you go throughout the other, all the other injuries, Darrell Taylor, he's limited. Montez Sweat, limited. Terrell Smith, limited. Kyler Gordon, limited. All those good signs. But also Jaquan Brisker, not going to play. Did not participate today, but also will not be playing. So I wish him the best because that whole concussion thing, you want a player that can play after he plays for the Chicago Bears and just live life. And when you have concussion injuries, that can really kind of mess you up. So I just hope everything's okay with him and that he gets better from the concussion thing because you really don't see many people out for this long with a concussion. Heck, Tua came back earlier with his concussion injury after all those head injuries that he's had. But then if we flip over to the Patriots, really the big one to watch is Kyle Duggar, their safety. He's looked good for them. Been a good safety for them, especially their defense has not been that great. And another person to watch, because Kyle Duggar did not participate today, Keon White, their defensive end, has been pretty darn good this year. He was limited, still should be able to play, but just something to at least monitor. And also Taki, their starting guard, is another person just to monitor with limited, but fully expect him to play. But overall, this opponent that we're going against, this is something that we can win. And this is a game that you really do need to win if you expect any sort of bounce back. Because right after this, we're going to be going against the Green Bay Packers. The Patriots are the easiest game that you're going to play because after this is when we get into the crazy part. You're going against everyone in the NFC North, the 49ers, and the Seahawks. That's not going to be an easy slate of games. The easiest game out of that is arguably the Seahawks. Actually, obviously the Seahawks with the way that the NFC North has been playing, and because the Vikings are going to be difficult, especially with Brian Flores calling the defense, because we see how much this offense has struggled. Now with this opponent not too great when you look at the DVOA rankings. DVOA has them as the 31st team. The Bears, 23rd. So really this Patriots team has not been very good, even with Drake May as quarterback. Personally, with Drake May as quarterback, they're doing a little bit better, but just this team has not been great. 30th, according to DVOA, on offense, and 31st, according to DVOA, on defense. Not a good team. Great matchup for the Bears. Also, it's at home, so we should be able to win. We should be able to beat this team, even though, and also Vegas agrees too, the Bears opened up as 7-point favorites to the Patriots after getting whooped by the Cardinals. They're still like, yeah, but the Patriots are bad. The Patriots are a bad team, and we have the opportunity to at least kind of build some momentum and at least show that, hey, not all is lost. Because I do not believe that this is a bold take. If they lose this game, you're not making the playoffs. You're not. The season is basically going to be over. Because if you miraculously all of a sudden put everything together, going against the hardest schedule in the second half, holy crap, that would be amazing. I welcome that because I always want to see the Bears win. But it's not going to happen. It's not really going to happen. So that's why this game is a must win. And I hate saying that because literally every single week we can say it's a must win. But this is going to be key. You have to. So, yeah, but we'll see. But Joe saying out there, Packers are suspect. I think Bears sweep them. I still stand with the same thing. Like, until the Bears beat them, I need to always pick the Packers to win because they always do. They always do. And every time I get my hopes up, that's exactly what happens. So, but let's talk. And then Khalil Herbert also gets traded away. And Khalil Herbert for a 7th. Now, we didn't talk too much about it, but trading him away for a 7th, it makes sense. You're not using him. And my argument at the very beginning of the season for keeping him was his kick return ability, his flexibility as the running back, and he's just been a good player. But since you're not using him, you're not using him in this offense, so yeah, it makes sense. It doesn't make sense to keep him when you're literally having him as a healthy scratch. So best of luck for Khalil Herbert. And also we get a 7th round pick, so I don't really mind that at all. But let's talk about this offense and let's preview this offense. Like I said, this is not a good, or the Bears are not going against a good offense at all. Bears are ranked the 27th best offense, but they're going against a bad defense for the Patriots. And when we look at this Patriots defense is, it's interesting because you're going against Gerard Mayo. And Gerard Mayo, defensive mind. But this is not the typical Patriots that we're used to seeing. They're weak up the middle with Godchow and Farms as their 2 defensive tackles. But Anthony Jennings and also Keon White have been 2 good defensive ends this year. And that is something that is why we need, especially a Darnell Wright back. Keon White has been a beast from a pass rush perspective. And he's also that just larger than life defensive end coming out of Georgia Tech. He's been very good. PFF's 30th graded defensive end. And that's where you definitely need that Darnell Wright back in there, because last week you could try to pretend like our offensive tackles still got beat against bad defensive ends. Now they're going to be going against good defensive ends. So that's really where those tackles, that's a really, really, really big key piece. Otherwise, you're going to have to keep a tight end or something to at least just do little tiny chips. But in the middle, Tavai and Ellis, meh type of linebackers, safeties, Hawkins and Mapu, just eh. But yet again, if Kyle Duggar's back there, brings you a little bit better in that backfield. But then the corners are very interesting because the corners that they have are corners that really haven't worked out in other spots, or it's always the Patriot way where a Patriots corner doesn't work in other spots. Like Jones and Jones, both of their 2 corners, have been doing solid this year, but also could potentially make big plays with interceptions. So turnovers, a key thing for Caleb not to do. But Christian Gonzalez is not having the season that he was having last season before his, I believe it was a knee injury that ultimately derailed his season. He was someone that I loved coming out of the draft because of his athleticism. He doesn't appear to have that same pop that he had at Oregon, but still someone that you just don't really want a chance. So even though that some of the rankings are a little bit poor, this is still a defense that could take advantage of the Bears with good and aggressive corners and also good defensive ends. This is where it's a good matchup if you're looking at it specifically for the Patriots, because yet again, what are the Bears' best players? They're supposed to be our wide receivers. And also, where are we weakest right now with the injuries? Offensive tackle. So advantage there goes over to the Patriots. But when you look at the other stats that the Patriots have on this defense, and we look deeper into this, they are 27th in EPA per play, so not good. 22nd in passing yards and per game, and also 29th in points contributed to the passing defense. So not a good passing defense. But when you flip over to the rushing, 26 yards per game. But when you look at the advanced metrics, they're 20th in expected points contributed by their rushing defense. They're just kind of a middle of the pack run defense, allowing only about 4.5 yards. So this is a good test for the Bears as a nice barometer to say, hey, where is this running attack overall? Not a great running defense. So you expect that the Bears should be able to do something, similar. Actually, I can't even say that. You're hoping that they could do something against this team. And for those that didn't watch the All-22 breakdown, well, we went through it and we saw how we were blocking from the passing perspective. I mean, from the run game perspective, lots of blown assignments, not consistent, not blocking as a unit, and just stupid mistakes ultimately led to just someone getting through the line and ultimately making the play on DeAndre Swift. Not putting a lot of blame on Swift. I thought that Swift had a very good game. And then also, when you look at their pass rush for the New England Patriots, you have the 5th worst pass rush rate or pressure rate at 18.4%. And also they blitzed mid at about a quarter of the time they'll be sending a blitz. Yet again, when people though go against a rookie quarterback like Caleb Williams, they'll definitely amp that up a little bit because they know that is something that the Bears simply did not handle. And if I'm looking at what we need the Bears to do, it's first off, get some healthy tackles out there. Have them at least out there to definitely help out Caleb Williams. But the biggest thing is it's still that little blitz pickup, just the stupid little things that the offensive line does in the blitz pickup that just drives you a little bit bonkers, where you just have somebody flying free. You just have those simple little things that disrupted Caleb. And also, for those that did not watch the All-22 breakdown, it's a lot of the same stuff that we're talking about, where Caleb wasn't as inaccurate as I thought, so plus there. And Caleb does make these great plays. So there's a lot of plays that I was like, Caleb's doing great. There was a lot of those. But then there's other plays where you go, okay, especially those deep balls where they're just not even catchable. There's a lot of those on tape still. And then also there's just plays where he needs to get the ball out. He needs to get the ball out sooner. He needs to, there's a read, just take it. So there was some of those little, I guess we could say kind of that hero ball mentality that we were talking about when Caleb was coming out, that he was doing a little bit more during that game. But then obviously the offensive line still had some issues. It's just that whole group of everybody was not doing well out there. So that's the biggest thing out there. Also, Ron, what's good, my friend? Saying if the Bears can't beat the Patriots, Eberflus should be fired. Yeah, that's where if they lose, the season's kind of toast, right? We got to just hope that we can somehow make it to 500, and then this will be a draft show. So, and yeah, what Taco Man's saying, the stunts, that's the thing. Like that really is the thing. The Borum and Tevin Jenkins could not pick up a stunt to save their lives. On the right-hand side, they were doing better, but it's still Jenkins and whoever the left tackle is. They're always messing something up. Also, Shy Drax, my friend, how is it going? Hope you're doing well. Nice seeing you out there. So that's really the offense, right? We just ultimately need Caleb to just settle down. You're in the home stadium. And can you imagine if we're losing to the Patriots? I know us Bears fans, we're going to be booing. We're going to be mad. We're not going to be happy. So I really hope we just have an absolute game just to really kind of show out. Because another thing, too, that we also saw on tape, DJ Moore just looks dejected. He looks sad. And Caleb Williams and DJ Moore talked about their relationship. And Caleb admitted that like the chemistry has been off, because it really has. And something also that we caught on tape was after Caleb Williams was missed, or he didn't really miss DJ Moore being open. It was basically he saw it was when he did the two fades in a row. The first fade out in the right corner, nothing. And then the left corner, it was to Keenan Allen, which Keenan Allen should have probably done something on that. He decided to go to the fade with Keenan because he saw single coverage, which in theory, the way that they draw up the play is considered a good read, right? Y'all already know my idea on fades. I think that they're stupid because they're statistically stupid. They do not work at they do not work as well as people think, because everybody sees the highlights. But on that play, DJ Moore was wide open coming across the middle. Yet again, you can't really blame Caleb, but you could tell after that play, I think it was the next 4 passes, every single pass, Caleb was trying to give DJ the ball. They need to just fix this relationship. It's not looking good. And that to me is the biggest thing. So if we're talking about matchups, the matchup to watch for, I'm not even going to go with the line. I'm not even, because yes, I could go with the line and how they're going to stopped by Keon Coleman. But the matchup that I'm watching for, this is the first time I'm going to say two teammates because it's going to be Caleb and DJ Moore. DJ Moore is the number one wide receiver. And you see that a player like a Jaden Daniels, having that number one wide receiver is everything. We saw this with even Justin Fields. When you have a number one wide receiver, that is everything. That is big. Try and make it happen. Make this thing work because you know he's good. And also, I will say this too. Rome is also a very good wide receiver. The tape continues to show that. Rome's good at football. Like, we feel good about Rome Odunze. DJ, though, you do need to get him there. He is a good player. And yeah, I do agree with you, Joe, where Caleb wants Rome to be that number one. It really does feel like that because it feels like they have the chemistry. And also, Rome's not really pouty like how DJ has been. So that's the big piece. Broski, what's good, my friend? Saying Bears are about to lose to the Patriots. This is sad. Man, I'm hoping not. I'm hoping not, man. But yeah, so my matchup to watch for is literally Caleb and DJ Moore. And the X Factor. The X Factor I'm going to talk about, I don't know who I'm going to put for the X Factor because the X Factor to me is the biggest piece because they can't really do a tackle because we don't know what's really going to happen to the tackles. And Keenan Allen can't, part of me wants to lean towards Keenan Allen because Keenan Allen just has not done much. And it's like, come on, man. But I'm actually going to say my X factor is Cole Kmet because when Cole Kmet is involved, this offense does well. On the tape too, Cole Kmet had his opportunities to be open. Like, give Cole the ball. Cole should be the all-time second read. Like, every single play, he should be the second read. You should have your number one, you have a wide receiver, that's the first, and then second read should be Cole Kmet. Like, without fail, it should go a wide receiver, Cole, running back, right? You should just do we're just doing 3 reads, right? This is the play for DJ. So if he wants to be pouty on the sideline, then yeah, he can be pouty on the sideline. It's like, all right, we're going Rome, we're going Cole, and we're going Swift. That's what they should do. They should just keep it like that. Keep it simple. Like, did Rome beat his guy? No? Throw it to Cole. Is he covered? All right, then throw it to the running back. That's it. That's all we got to do. That's the offense. Done. Call me Shane Waldron. Let's go. But that's where I think, to me, Cole Kmet is really the X factor. Just such a simple target. We just don't see the ball going to him. And to me, I don't think it's a coincidence that the offense has looked off. The 2 biggest times that the offense has looked off, Cole has not been getting the ball. Just saying. Like, I need to listen to Cole Kmet's show and just like, someone needs to ask him, like, Cole, why is it that the offense never looks good when you're not involved? Also, Bearski Films, what is good? Hope you're doing well, my friend. But yeah, Broski asking also how many starters are out. Man, it's crazy. So the tackles are definitely something that we gotta be looking out for. So that's going to be the thing. That is the offense. Let's flip over to this defense because the offense that this defense is going to be going against, not good. This offense, like we said, is ranked 31st according to formerly Football Outsiders DVOA rankings, but from an EPA perspective, they're 28th EPA per pass and 20 or per play, 29th per pass and 22nd EPA per rush. What does that mean? It means exactly what you think it means. It means that they're not that good. They're not that good on offense. They're not that good on defense. They're just not a good team. But when you look at, so why are they not that good? It's because, first off, not good wide receivers. Keyshawn Boutte and Kendrick Bourne. Bourne has not looked as much like he normally does. But Douglas, their slot receiver, is the person to at least look out for. Same thing with Hunter Henry. Those are just 2 good players, right? Not next level, just 2 solid players. Also, when you look at the offensive line, not a good offensive line at all. You have their left tackle Lowe, who's 55th out of 77 tackles, according to PFF. And then you look at this. They have the worst center in the league, Brown, at 36 out of 36 centers, according to PFF. And then their guards, Michael Jordan, 50.2 grade according to PFF, 73rd out of 77 guards, and Robinson, who is 68th out of 77 guards. And Onwenu is the only person that has a halfway decent grade at 66, who is the 42nd graded 42nd graded tackle out of 77. All that you got to know, Onwenu, never really had to say his name before. Like, I can hear it in my head, but I just can't say it. He is the person that is really the only person to watch out for. Our defensive line should do work. Our defensive line should be able to feast on them, because that's why this offense really hasn't been getting going. If we think our offensive line is bad, this offensive line is significantly worse. Probably, honestly, the worst offensive line in all of football. So our defensive line, with the injuries in the middle, I'm looking at like a Gervon Dexter. He's got to have a big game. And I hope that he can put something together. But I'm also interested to see, what do the Bears do without Billings? What is the rotation? Is it just going to be Gervon and Zach Pickens as essentially your starters, and then Walker plays more of that D tackle type of a role? That is going to be something definitely to watch out for, because they're kind of running out of some of these defensive tackles. Unless, and what they'll probably end up doing is calling up like Coert, and then also calling up and also having Chris Williams. So that's actually probably going to be how it is. We'll probably just see a little bit more Zach Pickens. So even though that I can have some crazy dreams with this, that's probably what they're going to end up doing all together. So let's talk a little bit about the coverage, though, and just with Drake May, their quarterback. Because Drake May, exactly like what I saw at North Carolina, this is Justin Herbert. At the way Justin Herbert was playing at Oregon, May is kind of continuing exactly how Justin Herbert looked like when he was coming out of college. This is a gunslinger. This is someone who can make you pay. This is also someone that how you can beat him is by making him pay. He's a high roller. He has a good arm. He can make some very, very good passes out there. So the key, one of the biggest keys of this game, you have to turn the ball over. When Drake May makes a pass, makes a mistake, you have to take advantage of that. It's going to be, the defense could have an absolute field day with interceptions, with sacks. This is a time that you can feast. Don't let Drake May pass it all over you. And speaking about letting somebody do something to you, don't let Stevenson run it all over you, because that's exactly what he could do against our defense. When we're looking at it, it was bad. Anytime that somebody ran a counter, we just did not have an answer for it. They were just easily able to go past us. That is the thing that just was our Achilles heel all game. It was the options. And without Montez Sweat, and Montez Sweat should be back, but when he wasn't there last week, you did see it. And now you can't just say it was just because Montez Sweat wasn't out there, that's why everything was bad. My boy Jack Sanborn, he wasn't looking good out there. Some of the other linebackers were over pursuing a little bit. It wasn't pretty. So hopefully we can get Gordon back, and also Montez Sweat, because then you at least have some people out there on the edges that can at least do a little bit of something. But also something, please play more Jacob Martin. Jacob Martin has been outstanding at the defensive end spot. We need to see more of him. When we're watching the tape, every time he's out there, he's been phenomenal. Give him more reps. He deserves it. He's been earning it. And yeah, he's been injured like since training camp. But yet again, when he was in training camp, people were reporting like, dude, Jacob Martin looks good. And now in the games, Jacob Martin looks good. Put Jacob Martin out there more than a Dominique Robinson. Now, even though that I'm just said something bad about Dominique Robinson, I will say too, watching the tape, Robinson was not bad. He wasn't good, but it was one of the best games that I've seen. And PFF actually backs that up, saying Robinson had a 71.1 grade. He looked a lot better. Do I still trust him to be a starter? No. Did he go out there and was he the starter? Yes, he was. So I really hope Montez Sweat can at least be back. But always something to look out for, just that cornerback position. Stevenson and Terrell Smith. Personally, when I rewatched the game, Stevenson really didn't have that bad of a game. It's just Terrell Smith played an even better game. So to me, I like the idea of just have them keep on duking it out. Because when Terrell Smith's been out there, he hasn't been bad. He looked good last game. Now, the injury then took him out, but Stevenson, up and down, up and down. So to me, let it be a battle. Put a couple in, put a couple out, but also it'll be really nice to hopefully get Kyler Gordon back. So let's talk a little bit about just the overall matchups that I'm watching out for. Because the matchup that I'm looking out for the most is at that left tackle position. I'm not going to go with the left tackle. I'm going to go Gervon Dexter versus Michael Jordan. Two Chicago greats going at it. Because to me, Gervon Dexter, this could be an absolute breakout game. Your older brother, Andrew Billings, right? This is the little brother with the big brother. Big brother's not there anymore. The vet is not there. You are the leader of the defensive tackle room now. You are the person that we have to look to, not Andrew Billings. Andrew Billings has been crazy good. But now we need Gervon Dexter to step up. This is the perfect opportunity at home against one of the weakest, probably actually the weakest interior offensive line that's out there. Gervon Dexter versus Michael Jordan. That is the matchup to watch out for. That to me is going to be the key matchup. But then the X factor that I'm going to call out, I'm going to go with Tyreek Stevenson, because Tyreek Stevenson to me as that X factor, if he can create a turnover, actually, I'm not going to give it to him. I'm going to give the X factor to Tremaine Edmunds, because if Tremaine Edmunds can have a great game stuffing the run and just playing well, if we can stuff the run, this is then an easier game for the Bears. That is going to be my X factor. Going with the linebacker, because there's a couple plays out there. Edmunds, a little bit over pursued, got beat to the outside a couple of times. So to me, Tremaine Edmunds is the X factor for the game. And now let's just wrap things up with the special teams review, because to me, the special teams thing to watch is Tory Taylor. Tory Taylor, you're coming back home to Chicago. Let's have some great games out there. Let's have some big punts. And Cairo, just keep doing what you're doing. He's just been unbelievable. But now, since special teams and kickoffs really haven't been much of a thing, there's not much for us to overall talk on some of these special teams reviews. So now let's talk about who has the edge. Because who has the edge? Bears offense versus this defense. Now, ultimately, I'm going to give it to the Bears. Actually, for the passing attack, you know what? No, I'm going to flip it. Passing attack, I'm going to give that to the Patriots, because the Patriots have the defensive ends, and if some of those tackles are actually injured for the Bears, they match up well against what the Bears could potentially do. So I'm going to give the edge to the Patriots, unfortunately. They're not a good pass defense. It's just the way that we've been seeing the pass offense go. Hopefully we can make something happen. It was about that week 3 that the offense started to do a little bit of something. So hopefully we start to see a little something happen. But then the run attack, after going against the Cardinals, I don't feel great about it. But I'll give it to the Bears just because I'll keep boosting up DeAndre Swift. I'll keep going with that. And then we flip over to the Bears defense, where for the Bears defense, I give it to the passing defense, because the passing defense has been pretty darn good, has been good in as long as they're not playing prevent defense. But then when we go to the running attack, I'm actually going to give it to the Patriots. And this is where, when we talk about the predictions, to me, the predictions, it boils down to how the Bears come out. It's the Bears, it's about the mentality. It's about how are they bought in? Are they done? Or are they actually going to buy in with this? So let me know your predictions down below in the chat, because what do you think? And then give me one big, bold prediction. So let me know. Also, Bearski, just let me know anytime I can collab. Actually, not anytime. Actually, at work. Peek behind the curtain at work. We have like year-end reviews we're doing right now. If anybody, I know there's people that work for the same company that I do out there. Like our reviews are just crazy long to take. So yeah, just hit me up and then we'll figure something out. But yeah, let me know what y'all think, though. So we got Shy Drax with 27-17. I'd love to see that. Taco Man saying 30-23 Bears. I'm nervous. I'm nervous about this because part of me is like, man, I should go with the Patriots just because, like I said, they match up well. But I don't know if I will because the Patriots match up well. Like I said, it's going to come down to those tackles. And also it's going to just come down to like, okay, come on, Bears, like let's rally together. And this kind of goes to it where I'm going to pick the Bears to win because the Patriots are bad. Patriots are a bad team. And also I can't in good conscience say that the Bears are going to lose. And like I can't say that because if they lose the season's toast. The season's toast. I'm going to see my views and listens go down because when the Bears are bad, no one wants to listen because no one wants to listen to a bad team. So to me, I'm going to say that the Bears win because I'll say that the Bears come out and dominate. I'm going to say that the Bears come out because if they come out to play, Soldier Field's going to be rocking. The Bears are going to be back. The Bears are going to be cruising. I think that they could whoop up on the Patriots. I think that that's one of the possible outcomes to happen. So if they're buzzing, things are looking good. I'm going to say 13-27 Bears is what I'm going to go with. So I'm going to say that it's going to be that big. And yeah, and also good point, Shy Drax. Eberflus, better at home. That's what he does. Right. And I'm going to say just ultimately that's what's going to go down. And I'm going to say for my bold prediction, I'm going to say 5 sacks for the Bears. 5 sacks, 2 to Javon, 1 to Jacob Martin. Actually, I'll do 4, but I'll just try and predict those sacks like that. And then 1 to Walker. 1 to Walker. And then if Sweat's out there, he would tally the 5th. But I think that this line can do well. I think that they can make the plays. And please, Chicago, do something good on the first drive to give us some hope. And like what Shy Drax said, hit the like button, please. Helps out the show tremendously. But guys, girls, I hope that the Bears can make a big win. We got to hope. We got to pray. We got to make sure that this happens. And also, make sure to hit that like. Also, make sure to hit that subscribe. Rate 5 stars ever that you get your podcast. And with that Unbearable Sports Podcast, we are out.
Yeah, she's got some nice long hair and you know that she's a